Bendy, I wish you were real. Big companies reject our work just because they said that there were a lot of popular cartoons, and our Bendy would not succeed since he looked like a copy of other cartoons. But I couldn't stop myself from drawing Bendy. He was a part of me. My friend Henry decided to drop out from the business after all our multiple failures. I continued with the project. I didn't want him to die. I received a lot of mockery from people who thought I was a silly dreamer. Everyone wanted me to give up, but I had put everything in this dream. Then, an idea came to my mind. If Bendy was real, no one would dare to reject him. No cartoon had ever achieved to be tangible. I've decided that I would achieve my purpose at any cost. I started to get obsessed with that. Bendy was finally going to become real. Many years have passed. I've been studying fantastical books, but none of those could help me. All of them were books for children's. I started to think that my dreams would not become true. So, in order to remember it, I painted in a lot of rooms in the studio that dreams would come true. I realized I was losing my head. I finally found some books about occult rituals, which mentioned ways to bring the life of a new being, even giving your own existence, for another one. I filled the studio with the designs of Bendy. I talked with him when I felt alone. Slowly, I stopped from thinking and giving him life, to think that I was Bendy. Why did I do what I was doing? Because I wanted him to live. Because I wanted to see the expression of everyone who thought I was wrong. Because I wanted to be Bendy, my own creation, and show those idiots that the wrong ones were them. While I was checking between my papers of the book, I found the Henry sketches. I lost all contact with him ever since he left us. We were both creators, but he was a traitor. He tricked us. He never wishes our dream. He was only interested in succeeding. Liar, 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 liar. My obsession with fulfilling my own dream only drove me into even more madness. I was no longer Joey Drew.
Now I'm Bendy.
Between all the books of occult rituals, there was one that was similar to what I wanted to do. It was about collecting materials for the new body that I wanted to have. To create Bendy. No. To turn myself into Bendy, I needed certain stuff. But above all, I needed ink. That's what Bendy was made of. The book mentioned blood for people, but he's a cartoon. So I changed the blood for ink. I took lots of parts from different books and started to write my own theory of life called The Illusion of Living. I needed 4 things. Something that would represent the new form I wanted to take. Something that would play a different voice. The Book of the Illusion of Living, and ink. Huge amounts of ink. It took me a lot of time, but I started to make a machine big enough to create a substitute for what I wanted. ink. I also upgraded my technique to sew. I needed a 3D body so that the ritual could copy it, and that way my body would take that new form. I wasn't very good at sewing, but I ended up making a plushie of Bendy. Small as he was supposed to be, I thought it would suffice. After completing that, I went to the audio room and recorded my voice, turning the pitch up so that it would be higher. That would be the new voice that he would have. The voice that Bendy would have. My new voice. I checked again and again all the steps so that everything could work. The ritual, the objects, the machine. I only needed one little detail. Henry. I couldn't do a real show of cartoons with only one character. I needed Boris. I needed Henry. He created Bendy and Boris with me. He was going to be a part of this creation, want it or not. Unlike Bendy, I needed a body that the soul of Henry could occupy. After tricking him so that he would do the ritual himself, I took a lot of time to make a body that looked almost real. Connected the ink machine on its back. It even looked like a real corpse. I only needed Henry's soul. While I was wandering like usual through the studio, taking materials to finish Boris's body, I noticed that most of the walls were hollow. I decided to break one of the walls open. I found out they were indeed hollow, and there was space for a person as thin as myself to enter there, though it would be uncomfortable. I created several tunnels through the walls so the rooms would be connected. I thought that once Henry came, I could use him to see what he was doing all the time, and obviously going to where he was without getting caught. However, making all those holes in the wall called the attention of my workers. I had to lie to them by saying that the building had structural problems and that they would be covered. I should see how to use them later. I still had some workers who stayed with me, either because of money or believing in my dream. They thought that if we made the cartoons and we showed them in the cinema, we could be independent from the big companies. I needed the help of my employees for the facilities and to make Bendy come to life. My life. I couldn't tell anyone what I was trying to do. I still had to check a lot of parts of the ritual. And also I could take Bendy into the big screen. It wasn't going to hurt anyone. My intention wasn't to hurt anyone. Only Henry. I couldn't forgive him. He was supposed to be my best friend. I had to contact a new person as my personal assistant, and that was supposed to be Henry's job. That assistant/composer was called Sammy Lawrence. For some reason, I wasn't getting any good vibes from him, but he was good at his job and I didn't have too much time. Though I'm not going to deny that Sammy also had some virtues that the other workers didn't. The workers who only stayed to receive their pay at the end of the month used to whisper behind my back. They said I was crazy. Can you believe that? Me. Crazy? Obviously, they couldn't see that they were standing in front of a visionary. It looked like everything was against me. The pipes installed on the ink machine were too tiny, so I had to ask for them to be built bigger. It was a real problem because the building wasn't made for pipes with those sizes. The ink was leaking from the pipes. Today we ran a little test on the ink machine. The ink keeps leaking through the hallways. My intention is for that to happen, but not so exaggerated. Our room has been flooded. Everyone wants a solution right now. Why do I feel like I'm the only one who thinks here?